Hey, it's me! I woke up this morning to a little comment on one of my videos saying I now officially have 201, as of this video, subscribers. And I just thought, wow, like that's insane. My friend is sitting there telling me, you have 200 people watching your videos. 200. She's showing me all these videos of what 200 people looks like. I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I'm kidding. But it's just crazy to think. It's been a little over a year since I started this channel, and I was actually wearing this outfit in my first video. I kind of figured I'd do a little throwback. And so it's been a year, and 200 subscribers within a year? That's, honestly, I think that's a pretty good amount in my opinion. Like, I know most people are like, oh, you know, millions and thousands of subscribers and stuff like that, but for a little vlog channel with not very good quality of videos, I think that's a good amount, personally. So I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. I'm not gonna do that where I scroll through all my subscribers and thank you this person, this person, this person, because that would take forever. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna humiliate myself for your guys' pleasure. That's right. I'm gonna be going through my old fanfiction account from 2010. I'm honestly thinking about maybe making this a series because I wrote a lot of fan fictions in my day when I first started out liking things. I don't remember quite how it got started. I somehow discovered fanfiction.net and decided, hey, I could do that. So I started writing a bunch of fan fiction for Young Justice when Young Justice was just coming out. And everyone was going nuts. It's like, oh, it's new Teen Titans, and then they decided to skip ahead 7 years, and then they ended it prematurely because Cartoon Network sucks. Anyway, so I have I have many fan fictions on there. And if you guys would like to see a series come out of this, let me know in the comments down below. I'll probably do it anyway, even if you guys don't comment, because that just kind of is what I do. So anyways, this is probably gonna be a series just called reading my old fan fictions, something like that. I figured I would probably start with my worst one, which was, in fact, a Young Justice fanfiction. You're gonna see a lot of those. Lots of Young Justice. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 anime ones, and then like 1 Phantom of the Opera randomly, and then recently, like, I did 1 Star Wars one, which I never finished because I suck at writing, so. Anyway, we're going to start with my first one, which, yes, Young Justice, but I did the ultimate sin. I did an OC, not just an OC, I did myself. I put myself into the show as a Mary Sue, and you're gonna have to sit and cringe with me. So, without further ado, let's get started on this cringe fest and listen to how much of an amazing character I am in the Young Justice universe. Chapter 1. And this is called Extra Dimensional because I was supposed to be from another dimension and Katy Perry's song E.T. had just come out. So, author's note at the beginning, which is, you know, what people used to do all the time. Author's note, I know you guys probably hate OCs, but I promise this won't be dragged out into a ridiculous length. I do not own Young Justice. I hate how people used to think like, oh, I have to put a disclaimer or else people will think I own it. Well, if you're posting it on this website, people know you don't own it. Little tip for fanfiction writers out there, if you're posting it on a fanfiction website, it's kind of implied that you don't own the thing you're writing about, unless you claim you do. Anyway, beginning. This short chapter, literally, it's this much of words. That's it. I was not good at writing long chapters. It was just another day in the boring life of me. Summer was here and I was home alone. I had already updated the fan page I had made for my favorite Young Justice character, aka Robin, updated my Facebook and done my chores. Finally, out of sheer boredom, I decided to try on my superhero costume that I had made a few months ago. Little known fact, I actually made myself a superhero costume when I was like 14 because I thought one day I was gonna go out and be a real life superhero. And when I was home alone, I used to try it on and do ninja moves with my ninja stick. Yes, I was that girl. Continuing. After I put on my costume, I grabbed my staff. It was really a wooden dowel that I had sharpied some cool designs on. Cool designs being a couple symbols I had seen in some video games. and started to twirl it around, not noticing the giant black hole forming below my feet. Yeah, because you know, that just happens. Or you're just practicing your ninja moves in your superhero costume and suddenly a black hole forms beneath your feet for no reason. Continuing, the next thing I knew, I was falling for what seemed like hours. When I finally landed, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And of course, this is that thing people used to do where it's POV changes its point of view, so now it's Robin's point of view. We had just gotten back to Mount Justice after a mission when it all started. Everyone was still in uniform and hanging out in the living room when a black hole opened above our heads. Just as we all got in our defensive positions, someone fell through the hole and landed in front of us. And that's the end of the chapter. That's the whole chapter. Author's note, okay, continue, yes, no, please review. Don't review this. It's garbage. Now, moving on to chapter 2. Chapter 2. I know the last chapter was the worst place to leave off at, so without further ado, I present to you chapter 2. Hey, I just realized that all rhymed. Anyway, because I thought this was just, everyone was going to be reading this. Everyone loves my original character of myself. Robin's point of view. A girl. That's what dropped in front of us. A girl about my age in what looked like a homemade superhero costume. Could this day get any weirder? Yes, because that's totally what I would think if someone just dropped in front of me. Oh, this day is getting pretty weird. Not, who are you, how did you get here, get out. And why are you wearing that? And for your information, the superhero costume was a cloth mask, a t-shirt, jeans, and a plaid skirt with a piece of fabric for a cape. It wasn't very pretty, but it was very early 2000s looking. You know how they used to wear the skirts over the pants? That was a thing. Why was that a thing? Anyway, continuing. Question marks POV. I put a little question mark because such a mystery who this character is. When I opened my eyes, there stood the entire Young Justice team. But what really caught my eye was Robin. Dick Grayson, the boy wonder, was the one helping me up. This was my hero, my cartoon crush. He was standing right in front of me. I was so excited, I did my usual fangirl routine. I hyperventilated. Yes, because that's totally what you would do if you suddenly saw some fictional characters come alive. You stood there and be like, no, you'd be like, wait, what? But because of comedy, hyperventilation just happens randomly. Robin's point of view. This is where it gets really cringy. I kneeled down to help her up. When she saw me, her eyes widened to the point where they were the only things I could see behind her mask. She stood there and gasped until she finally started to breathe, a little too fast for comfort. Whoa, just breathe slowly, he said. She obeyed and started to calm down, and then she practically exploded. Holy potatoes, you're Robin! Was not the reaction I had expected, but that's the one I got. Yes, that was a thing I used to say when I was back to be XD, I'm so random, tacos, potatoes. So yes, when I was younger, I used to say, holy potatoes! So yes, that would totally be my reaction. Just rock up and, meet my favorite character. Holy potatoes! Just make that a meme. Don't do that. Yes, that's me. Mind telling us how you got into our living room? She looked around and answered, almost as if she was unsure. I think I must have fallen through a portal or something. You see, I don't think I'm from this dimension. Because, you totally know what dimension you're in. And that's where I got confused. Well, we'll help you get back to your dimension. What's your name? I suddenly realized that I was standing in front of an extra-dimensional being. Yes, because, seeing this little nerdy girl in a suit is totally like, a being from another dimension who looks like she lives in her mother's basement, even though she's only 12. Yeah, that's... Well, my hero name is X Factor, or it would be if I was a superhero. What did she mean, if? I suddenly remembered that the rest of the team was there. Well, that's Aqualad, Kid Flash, Artemis, Superboy, and Miss Martian, she interrupted. I know all of you guys and your secret identities. Oh, cringe. Just then, Batman appeared out of nowhere. Because that's what Batman does. Zatara, I'm not sure if I spelled that right, I put in parentheses, because that's just genius right there, alerted me that there was a dimensional rift. I see you already found it. As I explained what happened in the past 20 minutes, X Factor was smart enough to keep her mouth shut. Yes, I explode when I see Robin, but I just sit there in silence upon seeing Batman. I need to take her back to the Batcave for questioning. Was her serious? I meant to say he, and I did not do spell checking. So, was her serious? He never takes anyone to the Batcave unless it's the end of the world. Why would he take X Factor? And then author's note at the end, that's the end of the chapter again. As you may have guessed by now, X Factor is based off of me, and yes, I do say holy potatoes. I was gonna make the chapter longer, but I decided that you guys would want this sooner. Please review. Whew, the cringe is real. So on to chapter 3, and to continue my suffering. You guys kind of get the gist of this. I'm not gonna read all 11 chapters of this because that would take forever and you would just kind of be sitting here bored because half of it was stupid stuff. But I'm just gonna go through here and find some like the most cringy parts so that way you guys can get the gist of the rest of this and suffer with me. So at this point, my character is sitting here and she's like, oh, Batman's gonna take me to the Batcave? That's so cool. Oh wait, he wants to question me. That's so terrifying. This was just what I needed, an interrogation by the most terrifying superhero ever drawn. Quote, quotation marks, note sarcasm. Yes, because people don't pick up on sarcasm. Most basic form of human communication. And then we go back to the Batcave for questioning, and Robin asks me to remove my mask. And of course I'm shocked at that. I'm like, oh, how can you ask me to reveal my secret identity? And he's like, well, you're from another dimension, so it doesn't matter. And then of course he looks at me and then he begins to describe me. She looked perfectly normal. She had long brown hair and deep brown eyes. In parentheses I put, I know, cheesy, but I do have big eyes. End of parentheses. But what surprised me when she pulled out a pair I did not spell that right, a pair of red and black glasses and put them on. Just then I realized that she also had braces. Nothing unusual about that, but I've never seen a superhero with glasses and braces before. Oh boy, the cringe! Yes, I used to have braces as well as glasses. I took so much pride in that. I thought I was just the coolest person because I was so geeky looking. I don't know why. I thought that was so cool. But imagine a superhero that wore glasses and braces. Like, why would you want that? Like, it's not a good point. And then this was the point where I decided, oh, I should try and make my character more likable by making them a sarcastic jerk. So what happens here is Batman says, oh, we found your dimension, we're gonna send you back, but you need to gather 3 magical items before you can do that. So what's my response? After that, I stopped listening. Gathering 3 objects? What was this? Blue's Clues? Yeah, good writing there, me. Good writing. And then one of the items, I called it the Eye of Tarragon. Do you know what tarragon is? It's a seasoning. I didn't know that, so I just wrote that in. I was like, oh, the Eye of Tarragon. That sounds mystical. It's a seasoning. And then it was supposed to be in a pyramid in Egypt. And I was like, oh, is everything here this cliche? Yes. Yes, it is. You're in a comic book. What do you expect? And then this is the point where Robin and I decide to have a romantic moment together. Not at all, but he asks me if I'm any good with my little staff thing. And I say, oh, well, I know how to swing it around. And so he says, well, we should know some of your weaknesses in case we find some enemies. Because we're gonna go looking for enemies, apparently. Oh man, fighting. I had never even full-on slapped someone, let alone taken them down. I was going to need some serious adrenaline for this. So I just proceed to tell him my fears. Not my weaknesses, not like, oh hey, I can't fight, let me stay in the back. No, I proceed to tell him, I'm afraid of heights, spiders, I've never been in a fight, and I have asthma. And like, yes, because that's something you would totally just tell somebody, like, oh yeah, so I'm afraid of all these things. I just like to include all of my personal details in fanfictions. Isn't that just amazing? And of course, I actually do think this part was a little bit funny. Like, I hadn't intended it to be funny, I'd intended it to be kind of a oh moment. But Robin's point of view after my little spiel, great, just great. We got the one extra dimensional being with no superpowers, multiple fears, and a breathing problem. Like, imagine that. You're in like the superhero universe where you've got like Martians and Kryptonians and all that, and then you get this being from another dimension, and they're just like this nerdy little 12-year-old with black glasses and braces and they have asthma. It's like, well, you're a disappointment. So many chapters, cringeworthy moments, and spelling issues later, I get sent back to my dimension and Robin joins me on accident because, I don't know, there's some reason why. And then I introduce him to my friend because I'm like, we have to get Robin back to his dimension. And her response is, but he is super cute. Plus he's like your all-time crush. Why send him back? And then that got me thinking, why should I send him back? You know, I'll just keep him captive in this totally strange dimension. No repercussions there. And then, you know, it has kind of a cool moment here where I say, because this isn't his home, he needs Bruce, he needs the team. They're his family. He has already lost one in family, and I would hate for it to make him lose another. It wasn't very well written, but, you know, it's like this good little, yeah, you know, I can't be selfish. But then guess how I ruin it? Wow, that was so cool. I actually did an inspirational speech, because I'm so quirky. Not really. And then, this is how I ended it. Hey Robin, I said quietly as he stood before the portal to his own dimension. Yeah, X. Since I'll never see you again, I started. Then he leaned in and gave me a kiss. Is that better? Oh my word, I had just been kissed by Robin. I was going to ask for a birdarang, I stuttered. Which I thought that was the best excuse for, you know, kissing a character. It's like, oh, well, he instigated it, so it's totally fine. And then, you know, and he's like, oh, sorry, and then he gives me one of his birdarangs, which I think is like, yes, like, you meet someone else from like another dimension, like, hey, can I have one of your weapons before I leave? Like, this total fangirl moment there, that would be something I probably would actually do. And then, so he gives me his bird ring, he's like, oh, don't kill anybody with it, and I was like, oh, I won't, goodbye. And then before he steps through, he looks back at me and says, hey, I'll do a flip in each mission just for you. He grinned. My face lit up as I hugged him goodbye. And then he stepped through the portal, waving goodbye. And then, you know, that's the last I ever saw of him. That is, until a new episode of Young Justice came on. I watched Robin closely, and what I saw made me grin. Robin did a flip and waved to thin air. So that was my first one. I think that's one of the first fanfictions I wrote. Yes, like, like, just imagine that, like, I'll do a flip for you. And then, like, you're watching TV and the character just goes, woo, and just walks off stage. That'd be interesting. So yeah, moving on from that, thank you for 200 subscribers. If you would like to no, don't go and read them. I mean, you can if you want, but I would prefer you didn't. If you would like to hear me talk more about my fanfictions, then let me know in the comments below, and I will probably do more of these, because I have many fanfictions, some long, some short, some awkward, some cringy, some I thought were half decent. I'll have to go back and read them again. But with that final note, I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye!